Hi everyone, it's Yvette Blowitz from Spaitgirl.com and welcome to the Spaitgirl Talk Show podcast. Super excited to be here with you today in this online audio space and with our very special guest, Katie Eales, who is the founder of Sabbiaco. Katie, welcome to the Spaitgirl Talk Show podcast. Happy Monday. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm super excited you're here with us today in the audience. Now, I'm a big fan of your brand, which is the sustainable skincare tools. I love all of your self-care messages, and I love your passion for sustainability, for the environment, reducing waste, reducing plastic, and all of those things. But in your own words, can you tell all of our listeners who are tuning in a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your story also?
Yeah. So I'm Katie. I've just turned 26 actually, which is crazy for
Happy
me.
birthday! Wow, amazing.
Yeah. I grew up in Port Douglas, which is in far north Queensland. My dad is Australian and my mum is Italian. So my childhood was always very conscious about what we're putting in our body. Like everything that my mum cooked was from the garden. We never really had anything from a packet because it was just the way that she was brought up. And I think that those types of belief systems were always installed in me from a really young age. And as I grew up and I moved from Port Douglas to the Gold Coast where I am now, and all through my traveling and things like that, I've always just been really conscious about what I'm putting in my body and most importantly what I'm putting on my skin, because it only takes a couple of minutes for what we put on our skin to soak into our body. So Sabbiaco came about when my partner and I were traveling in Sri Lanka in 2018. We flew into Sri Lanka and we traveled for maybe like 8 hours in a car, stayed the night, and then we got a tuk-tuk for like 5 hours or 4 hours to this remote beach for my partner to go surfing. And as I was walking along the beach and just taking photos of him surfing, I was just absolutely shocked and devastated by the amount of single-use plastics, water bottles, toothbrushes, and makeup wipes that I found along this beach that, you know, you couldn't see a soul, and we hadn't seen a soul for hours and hours and hours. And it like broke my heart to think that we were in such a beautiful remote place and this is how it was being treated, and that no one was there to pick up, you know, the rubbish and recycle it. So when we came home from that trip, we really had a big shift in our home and how we lived, really becoming conscious about, you know, when we're doing groceries, like taking reusable bags instead of using plastic bags to get, you know, a bag of lemons or whatever. And that's kind of where it started in our house. And then I moved into different areas as I kept continuing to learn. And the most important area for me, because I'm really passionate about skin, was what I'm putting on my face, but also what those products are coming in. So like a common cleanser will come in a plastic tube, same as exfoliants and makeup wipes. You know, a makeup wipe takes over 100 years to break down in landfill. So when we started talking about, you know, what we kind of wanted to be able to do our part for the environment, we started thinking of areas around sustainable skincare or travel that we could really change the game. And it took so many ideas and so many samples to finally get to the first thing that we came up with was the Face It face kit, which I think you have there.
Yeah, I love the Face It. I love the Face It face kit. This is amazing. Thank you. This is perfect also for travel and reducing all of those bottles and products also. But yeah, I love this.
Yeah, so for me, like, we're always traveling and you can only take a certain amount of stuff with you. And I'm not really like, I don't wear a lot of makeup, so I travel pretty light, but having to take like, you know, I was opting for glass packaged skincare because I didn't want to use plastic, but it's a nightmare to travel with.
Quite
And
heavy.
sometimes, you know, like it's just, so coming up with that kit was mainly, it was for me because it was filling a gap that I needed in my skincare. And then I just was like, well, why don't I share this with people? Because there's so many really eco-conscious people who don't have any other option but just to use water to clean their skin. And then there's the other people that really want to see results and effectiveness, and they're going down the realm of like plastic packaged things. And I wanted to create a kit that, you know, was going to be really effective, but also really, really great for the environment. And I'm pretty proud of what we've kind of put together, because I feel, and I mean, when I share it with people like yourself, the feedback is just phenomenal. Like it's such a amazing feeling to have a vision and to see it kind of coming to life and people really getting it.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, I love how you can just put this underwater for everyone audio, but this is on the Spaitgirl YouTube channel. You'll be able to see what I'm holding up here. But basically, we've got the makeup pad, haven't we? And you literally just wet that, and then unbelievably, it takes your makeup off. And, you know, when I compare that to, say, using those makeup wipes, I've got to use anyway quite a few, like 3, 4, maybe 5. It just takes time. And then I've got to find a rubbish bin to throw it out. And it's just like another step to do. Whereas this one, you can then just wash it, reuse it, and also recycle it. And it's just so easy, like, to pack. So when we all get to travel again, this is like the ultimate travel kit, but also really good for just day-to-day use at home. And I love how you have on your Instagram page, you're very amazing at sharing. Obviously, you've got the headband there. And I love how you have also this in the kit.
So this is such a unique, the cognac cleansing sponge. It's so amazing because it's derived from 100% cognac root, which is a traditional Japanese or Asian found vegetable. You can get like cognac noodles, which you can eat as well. But in Japan, they started to make facial sponges to clean their baby's skin because obviously they're so delicate. And then the women were like, well, wow, why aren't, like, if it's good for the baby, why don't I try it? And it's just such an incredible 100% natural and 100% biodegradable tool that you only need water to literally cleanse and exfoliate your skin. The charcoal infused helps to like reduce oil and acne. We have a green tea one, which is a bit more for anti-aging and brightness. But that's by far one of my favorite things I've come across in this, you know, sustainable journey of mine, because it is phenomenal. And I've noticed, like, I definitely used to struggle with a bit of hormonal acne before using that, and my skin has never felt and looked better. And I think too, because of what we share, it's not about just skincare, it's about a ritual and it's about positive messaging. And I live and breathe that, and I can really see it coming through my skin. I feel like I actually have a glow that I've never had before, and it's the whole package of using, you know, good tools for the environment and for my skin, but also the messaging and the ritual and the self-care practice that I've put behind it, that I've seen, I think, the best results from probably.
Yeah, well, your skin is absolutely glowing for everyone tuning in. So, so beautiful. And I love what you said there, to think that this can cleanse and exfoliate, but in a way that is so amazing that it could even do the same for a little baby is phenomenal. And then that's just wet. And then you're moving that, aren't you, around in little circles, just really upwards. And then after you use it, you can just dry that out. And roughly how many weeks could you use this for? About 6 or 8 if you did it daily, like morning and night?
Yeah. And it's like, the best way to explain it it is literally 100% natural. There's no preservatives in there. So you can go to the farm today and buy, you know, a tree, and you might get a dud one and it might die no matter how much you love it and look after it. But you might get a really great one and it might thrive and have heaps of, you know, fruit for you. It's the same as the cognac sponge. Like, I've had ones that have lasted well over 9 weeks, and I've had ones that have lasted maybe 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just because they are completely natural that, you know, it's just
a natural process.
Yeah. You can't help it. We're not going to put anything in there to try and make it last extra long because it wouldn't be natural.
Yeah, well, I love the idea. I personally feel, and you might feel the same too, that when I completely started to become more conscious and aware of what I was putting on my skin, knowing that your skin absorbs and it goes into your bloodstreams, when I made the shift from reducing chemicals to the best of my ability, I found a massive shift not only in my skin, but also my health and wellness. And I just felt like I really just wanted to start reducing chemicals and the toxins going in. And I feel that by doing that daily with the skincare, with yourself as well, it makes a massive difference to the way you feel. I seriously, because when I was using products that had chemicals in it, or maybe just, you know, I was not my happiest or my healthiest. I kid you not. So I just, ever since I switched to being that natural beauty, that A beauty, that Australian beauty, it was just made me feel so good. So that's why I love also sharing amazing founders like you and brands, because until you try it, it's really hard for me, you know, to explain. But once you start on that sustainable, natural beauty journey, it is, it's just so feel good. Like you said, it's the self-care rituals. It's the knowing that you're not putting anything harmful into your body or into your skin that really makes that difference. And you just feel so good. But now tell me, you, what are some of your self-care rituals that you love to do?
So a big non-negotiable for me is we wake up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock every day, because we're daylight people. Like, we love the beach, we love the ocean, we love the sun. So we get up quite early and we probably go to bed at like 9 o'clock, maybe sometimes earlier. So first thing in the morning, my partner and I will just have like no phone time, coffee together, and he will usually go to work. I will do some type of exercise because I just know that it gets me in a really clear mindset for the day. And then I will usually do all of the kind of admin-y jobs that I don't like doing on our deck in the sun, because I just know that it makes me feel good, and I'm definitely a solar charged human being. So I'll just sit out there in the sun, do that kind of stuff, and then I come into the warehouse, whatever the day brings. As a business owner, you know that you can't really predict what the day is going to be. But yeah, my non-negotiable is the time I walk home, put my phone down, and I always sit down in the shower. It's just like a weird thing that I've done for as long as I can. And it's
You
just the
probably
hot water.
started that when you were a kid.
So young. My parents are like, where did you get that from? But I'll sit down. I don't wear makeup often, but I still use the makeup pad because I know that it's getting all of the pollution and the stuff off my skin. And when I wipe that off, it's just like a mental, the day's off. I'm done. Like, it's time to just relax now. And then I will use my cleansing cognac sponge. And then like a face mask is just, you know, having a shitty day or a hard day at work, popping on a face mask and putting my legs up against the wall for 10 minutes can change the worst days to just an absolute blissful afternoon. So definitely a massive believer in like that type of just taking a minute to really physically and mentally wash off the day and just a bit of self-love.
Yeah, I love your self-care rituals, how you're able to like basically use your makeup cleansing pad to wash off the day. So that's sort of like it's done. And then how you can also draw upon popping on a face mask. Because I see that all over your Instagram page too at Sabbiaco, which I love. And you've obviously also got this in your kit for the applying the face mask. But I love how you then put your legs up, because the wall, which is an inversion, yoga inversion, just to help flush out everything, which is amazing. But you're so big on rituals. It sounds like you kind of like every day, this is your ritual. You wake up, it's non-negotiable, you're up early, you're exercising, you are doing the task you don't really like, I noticed, though, first thing in the morning. Which is, I think that's a really good tip for anyone who's wants to be a girl boss out there, or a brand new startup girl boss, or wants to run their own business. So you do that obviously because you're at your heightened, most energetic. Because I know if you're like me, if I lose something really hard to the afternoon, it's like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. And then you might not do it. So this is amazing.
It's such a good, I really love, I'm not really a to-do list girl. I should be. I know they're good, but I'm still a very fluid person, and I kind of let my intuition take me through the day. And like when things pop up, you know, sometimes an email will pop up and it's like something that I need to address immediately, or sometimes it could be something that could wait until tomorrow. So I really let my intuition guide my day, and I don't get too hung up on to-do things. I have a to-do week list of things that I'd like to get done. But that first 2-3 hours of the day, I'm just making sure, like, phone down, I'm focusing on all the really important tasks, because then once I kind of get through them, I just notice such a shift in my energy. I feel really like vibing, I feel good, and I'm just like keep motoring on. Whereas if I have a slow morning and do like not much, kind of gets to lunchtime and you're like, well, I feel like I've wasted this day.
Yes. Wow. I love, like, you are always sharing tips on skincare on your Instagram page. But I also love how you then turned something that you were looking for into now your passion and your dream. There are so many girls, women, or guys out there that want to create their own brand, want to be their own boss, want to be their own entrepreneur. But as you know, it takes time to build any brand, to create a product that you love, that you want to share with the rest of the world. In that startup phase, when you're still working at the product, the brand colors, the brand name, the business side of things, how you're going to sell it, do you have any words of wisdom or tips? Were there things that you did to help with balancing out startup brand phase versus burnout?
Yeah. So my partner and I were both working full time when we came up with the idea of Sabbiaco, and I was in a marketing manager position, which is not like an easy switch on, switch off job. It's a big job. So that's where the kind of ritual started of getting up that early, was because we were fresh. We could talk about ideas. We could do research. Then I would go to my job. Then we would come home. But that first few hours of the day just became such an important time for us to really visualize. And it just made like that fire in my belly, like going to a job I didn't really enjoy because there was so much plastic in the product I was selling, and I hated that. But it just made me work harder because I'd already started the day knowing I'm working on what I really want to be doing. I can't wait to get through my day, to do good at my job, but to go home and then to continue working on my side hustle. Saturdays were usually a day that we would work on the business together, and then Sundays was usually a non-negotiable day at the beach or a completely switch off day. I'm really into like arts and crafts, so Dave would probably go surfing for 4 or 5 hours in the morning, and I'd do some painting or some pottery, and that was just like, and I still do that pretty every Sunday, is like my whether it's cooking like a really nice meal that takes a lot of time to do, making from scratch, or a bit of pottery or some drawing, like that is just my gold time, and it fills me up for the week ahead.
Yeah, well, I love that. That's amazing tips. So even during your startup phase and even now, Sunday is like your self-care day, your day off, your non-negotiable, and you're spending time getting lost in the art, what you're doing, whether that be cooking from scratch or art, culture. And that really aligns with the Spaitgirl Self-Love Sunday, which I learned from my mum as a little kid growing up, where Sunday was like the day to rest and like do things for yourself, whether that was paint your nails or read a feel-good book or watch a feel-good movie, but it was a day of rest and reflection and just getting lost in beautiful feel-good things. Now, before I forget, your brand Sabbia, what does that stand for, the name?
So Sabbia is actually Italian in sand in Italian.
Yes.
So my mum is Italian, and I guess that our Sundays were like a non-negotiable lunch at my nonna's. And I've just been brought up in we are a ritual-based culture. Like Italians are everything revolves around food and family. But yeah, when we were thinking of like who we are as a brand, I wanted it to mean something to me. And sand, like essentially we want our products to be able to go back into the earth like a grain of sand, or be on the beach like a grain of sand. Like we love the ocean. So it just felt so right. Like as soon as we came up with names, and I was talking to my mum, and I said I always wanted an Italian name because it was just like a nod to my heritage and to the kind of things that I learnt growing up, which has made me so conscious about, you know, what I put in my body and how I treat those around me because of that upbringing. So yeah, I just can't even remember the conversation. And then I think she just said Sabbia, and I was like, that's it. Done.
Oh, wow. So
I
you
love
created that name with your mum, like kind of just bouncing off ideas. And your mum must be so proud of you to see you now with this brand, the products, to see other women and even guys, that want to clean their face and keep it clean. It's unisex now, skincare, always has been, but like your mum must be so excited when she just had that little bit of input to the name, and you've gone, yes, that's a cool name, let's do that. And I love the bond that you have with your mother, because like I am just like so like my mum is my best friend, like my rock, my role model, my inspiration. And I know before we started the podcast show, I was talking to you about how she had gone into a coma only recently, and you just realize like how important your family and friends are, but also what I've realized too, how important our own health is. And there was all this emphasis when COVID-19 was going on about taking care of our health, looking after ourselves, others, but practicing self-care rituals. And I really want to keep inspiring everyone, even if the restrictions are now eased, you can go back to work. Life's getting really busy really quickly, but I really want to inspire everyone to keep up their self-care rituals. So many people have done so many amazing things like taking up walking, meditation, yoga, skincare. And even if we go to just focusing, doing it on a Sunday, non-negotiable day, that is an amazing achievement. But what do you love? Like I look at your Instagram page now, you have so many amazing girls, women, just people sharing their face mask photos, their sponge. How does it make you feel when you see other girls, women or guys, just like you receive feedback, like their skin is so clean, it's glowing, they feel amazing? just to go from like, when you reflect over your journey, how does it make you feel now when you see these photos coming in or feedback from your customers, clients, community?
No, there's no words for it, to be honest. Like, I have had so many tears of just joy and pride. It's the nicest feeling to be able to have, because we've had a lot of girls who have struggled with acne and things like that, and they've tried heaps of stuff that has, stripped all their natural oils and made them quite sensitive and raw because the products that they were using were so strong, and their last resort was just trying us because it seemed natural. And they're like, wow, my skin, it's not sensitive to touch anymore. Like, my breakouts are reducing, especially with our mask now. Like, that's such a great one for acne and reducing redness. But it's just, it was ideally a product for me to stop my footprint, or to minimize my footprint, and to be able to have really effective tools to clean my skin while I was traveling, and to see it doing so much more for those like people who are trying it. It's just such a humbling, I don't know, there's no word for it. Like, it's the most incredible feeling.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Seeing transforming people's lives is so empowering, isn't it? Like, you can't put a figure on it, or you're right. It's so fulfilling, so fulfilling. I think that's why after all of these years, I still love blogging or sharing brands or stories or words of wisdom to help other people. Because when you see that transformation, like, it's just so fulfilling. It just fills your cup up right up. It's just like, it's so rewarding. And obviously your partner is a big fan of your brand, Sabbia, and uses this. You both love to travel as much as I do. And at the moment we can't travel out of Australia at the moment internationally. But if you could travel, or when we can eventually travel, what kind of holiday destination do you think you might go to? Or where do you have to kind of pick a place where your partner can do surfing, and like, what's the vibe for your holiday, like when you eventually get to go on a holiday?
So we kind of get to take turns. Luckily, I absolutely love diving. So usually wherever we're going, he can surf and I can dive, or snorkel, or be in the ocean. I love being in the ocean, so that's fine. But the next trip that we're doing is, as soon as we can, is going back to Italy to see my family, because I think it's been 3 years since I've been back to Europe, and Dave, maybe 4 or 5 years. So I think as soon as we can, we'll be going to Italy, but we will go to like, maybe, I don't know, maybe like Portugal or somewhere where he can surf as well, and just have, I'm hoping, like a really nice, at least a month or two, just some time together. Because since we started Sabbia, like, it's so busy. Like, it's, we have our Sunday off, but you're still thinking about it. We haven't taken a holiday. We're only 6 months old, so we haven't taken a holiday, but definitely looking forward to a really beautiful European summer.
That's amazing.
But otherwise, like, it's mainly surfing and water orientated.
That's
and food.
beautiful. I love that. I love that. I spent some time in Italy when I used to live in London, and went into Rome, and just be able to fly over there for the weekend, and then but spent like 6 weeks going all the way down through Italy, and the food was amazing. And I loved Tuscany and Capri and Cinque Terre and all of these, Florence and Venice and all of these amazing places. And I had to do the whole Pisa thing, because that was such a big thing on Getaway Show when I was a kid, the travel show. But I really love Italy, just the food, the people, the coffee.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I love how thoughtful you are towards your partner about maybe go to Portugal so he can surf, and just so amazing. Like, your brand is growing really, really quickly thanks to the power of social media. As much as like it is a lot of work, as you know, anyone who's got an Instagram page, a blog, even a Facebook page, whatever, it takes time, obviously, to upload it, take photos, communicate your message. But I really, really just wanted to say congratulations again. I love, love, love that you overcome your fear even and decided to take it to the next level. Before you took it to the next level though, do those feelings ever arise like, ooh, how's this, should I or shouldn't I, or I wonder how this is going to go? Or did you just go for this feeling of, I'm really passionate about this idea, it's so unique to me and it comes from my heart and soul, I'm just going to give it a go?
Right up until probably the week before we launched, I was like, this is for me, I'm so passionate about it, I know it's my truth, I'm going to do it. And then the week before we launched, I was like, shit, like we spent so much money, like, and I think because the fear of failure wasn't just upon me. Dave had invested in the idea, and we're co-owners.
Yes.
So the fear of, if it didn't go well, like him investing into me, like if it didn't go well and it was just mine, I would be like, oh, I'll try something new, like that would be fine. But it was definitely an element of fear because I felt responsible as well for him. But even now, like when we are putting new orders to our manufacturers, like, and increasing quantities and like spending more money, I'm like, holy shit, like Instagram just blows up and we've got no one to sell to or to talk to.
But you're right, that is so true, true. I remember even when I had to print books, right? And then of course my book distributor went into administration at the time, Dennis Jones and Associates. But at the time when I had to say even like print 5,000 books, it's like, oh my god, is this gonna sell? Like, are these books are gonna be in the warehouse? Like, I hope I get the orders in, but it's like chaos. And then I just sort of settle down and go, it'll be all right.
It'll be fine. Trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process. That is so amazing.
You do the work, I think if you 100% do the work, you can't fail. If you become lazy and you don't want to put in the time or the effort, you can't expect success.
Yes, exactly. But you're right. I think success comes from, as long as that passion comes from within and you've created the brand and the product, because it comes from your heart and soul, I truly believe it will always work. It will always work, because even on the bad days, the tired days, like I even know through COVID-19 and even with my mum being critically ill in ICU or just so unwell in hospital, I can still get up like today and still want to do a podcast show because I'm so passionate about helping others. I still want to talk about the spa or Maldives or travel. And that comes from a real passion and a real drive. Whereas if I was just doing something for the money, or I didn't really like it, oh my goodness, right about now, I wouldn't be doing anything, So it's made me realize in challenging times that if something's so deep inside you from your heart and soul, you'll just want to keep going and give it a really good go. Now, how can we stay in touch with you and continue to sort of follow your journey, be part of all your amazing self-care tips, and just be part of your beautiful, sustainable community, and just really connect with you after the Spirit Girl podcast show?
So yeah, you can find us at Sabbiaco on Instagram, which is SABBIACO. That is really all we are, because Dave and I are both not like influencers. We don't have Instagram followings. Like, so if you want to get to know us and Sabia and what we're doing, and we don't just talk about skincare either. We talk about, you know, a bit of self-love, sustainable way of living, you know, tips and tricks of things that you can use in your home for skincare. Like Manuka honey is one of my favorite things to apply to my skin, and I'm not gonna bottle it and put a Sabia label on it, because I know that you can get that at the grocery store.
Right.
So, you know, our page isn't about selling our products. It's about teaching sustainable self-love, skincare, and things that you can do at home to reduce your, you know, impact on the earth. And if you have Manuka honey and some lemons, you can make a face mask. Don't go out and buy a honey face mask. Like, do the maths and kind of work within your means.
Yeah, I love that. I really do love how you're giving free, like, it's a way of life, a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And to think that when you can eat Manuka honey and lemons, you can put that on your food. You know, if you can eat something, it's really safe to apply on your skin. That's my philosophy.
100%.
And I love also, you are right, you don't really like be pushy, like, oh, we got 60% off sale today, blah, blah, blah. You know, like it's, I even had to move away from that whole holding up product thing, though mind you, I'll hold up my book. It starts with me.
Yeah.
Plug the book.
It's your baby.
Yeah, it's my little baby. It starts with me book, which teaches you how to be an A beauty, a self-care beauty, natural beauty. But I too felt like I wanted just to be like the Spaitgirl podcast show, a travel show, not to be about sell. Like today I've got lollies, tomorrow I've got cereal, the day after I've got washing machines, day next it's a lawnmower, like, you know what I mean? It's like washing powder. It's just like crazy, you know, chaos, crazy. I just didn't want to do the whole sell. So I really can resonate with you and appreciate how you're trying to do your best to educate people, inspire them, give them mindfulness tips, lifestyle tips, self-care tips, ideas, things that you're both doing that make you feel good and hope it makes them feel good. So I could talk to you all day, as you know, because this is called a talk show. And there's a really good reason for that, because I love to talk. But what I will do is we will say goodbye and to our Spaitgirl podcast audience. And just thank you again for Katie for sharing all of your words of wisdom, your story, your tips. And before we say goodbye, if there was someone out there who had a dream, an idea, and it came from within, that was so burning, but they were feeling like self-doubt, like I don't know if I can do it, or but they're unhappy in their job already. What would be one advice? Would you inspire them to hustle, as they say, a little bit, like work it on the side, what you did? Like, what would be your words of wisdom for them before we say goodbye?
Well, what I did, and I just truly think it's the best way to go about it. If the fire is coming from something within you and it's a passion, map it out, write it down, do a vision board, whatever's going to resonate with you that you can reflect back on. And when you're having those hard days of doing the double hustle of working full-time and working full-time on your own idea, you need to have something to look back on and be like, this is why I'm doing it. They're the feelings that I want to feel. That's the impact that I'm going to have. And I just think that vision board and that knowing really is the fire to success, because there's always going to be, even once you stop doing the double hustle and you go full time into your business, there's going to be like product development, like new things that come up. And it is doing another second hustle, because you're constantly managing a business, you're managing your marketing, you're thinking of new ideas. It doesn't get any easier once you're in it. So you really got to know why you're doing it. And if the why is strong enough and true to you, that's all you need.
I love that. If the why is strong enough and true to you, that's all you need. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
That's good. I should write that down.
Yeah, I love, actually, we have to put that on a mantra. Thank you, Katie Eales from Sabbiaco. I love, love, love what you have created, what you're doing. Credit to your mum also for being such an incredible role model to you and your father. I love Port Douglas, by the way. I love visiting up there, especially in winter time in far north Queensland. It is spectacular, the resorts, the vibe, really, really beautiful. Thank you again for choosing to make a difference to our environment, to people's health and wellness, and just for basically helping other people to feel good from within and be a natural beauty, Australian beauty, which can be any beauty. It's global now. So your kits are available to order, aren't they, online and products? And that is for international sale, isn't it? International distribution as well. Beautiful. That is so good to know. Well, we will say goodbye. So for everyone who's joining in, I would love for you to take a screenshot if you're watching this on the Spaitgirl YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on the Spaitgirl Talk Show podcast, I would love for you to leave a 5-star rating and review, but just to leave a message about something you have learned today. And are you now inspired to reduce plastic, reduce chemicals into your skin, or just even to explore more about sustainable skincare, sustainable beauty? Love to know. So on that note, we will say goodbye.
Bye.
See you on the next Spaitgirl Talk Show podcast. Bye, everybody.
For sure.
Bye.